Hi everyone, I'm Aqila and welcome back to ADC. So today's video is very special because I'm not alone here. I've invited two amazing guests today. So guys, you may introduce yourself first. So hello guys, I'm Qiqi. Hi Qiqi. Hi guys, I'm Zain. Hello Zain. So in today's discussion, we're going to talk about the two major themes in The Giver by Lois Lowry. The first theme is about how family shapes society, and then the second theme is about why emotions are so important. So yeah, let's start with the first theme. The role of family in shaping society. Do you guys have an idea about these themes first?
Yes, these themes are interesting to me, especially. And what makes this interesting is that the society in The Giver looked perfect at first, right? But when we look deeper, we realize that something is actually missing.
Exactly, Zain. So I also remember, like in Jonathan's community, like the family is not based on love or also biological connections. Instead, like everything there is under control, and the adults are applied for a spouse, and also the children are assigned to them, like they belong to this family or that family, and etc. So instead of feeling natural, the family here feels like constructed. So what do you think about that, Zain?
Yes, I agree with you. So instead being a place of emotional bonding, family becomes more like a system, and it exists mainly to raise children, but in a structured and controlled way, like you have said before.
Yeah, and it's so important because it shows how the society use family as a tool to maintain order. Like everything is playing from how many children a family should have to how they should behave at home.
That's a really good point, guys. And I think what makes this interesting is like it looks like a normal family on the outside, like what Zain said earlier. But when we look closer, this is something definitely feels off. And I also remember this scene where they have like this kind of like daily routine where they were sharing about their feelings, their emotion, like in the dinner time. Do you guys remember that scene?
Yes, and also they share their dreams.
Right, the dreams ones. But it seems like a normal activity, right? But actually, if you look into their society, it seems like it limits people's emotions.
Yes, and one example that I can told you guys is when Lily talks about being angry, and then her parents quickly correct her feelings so she doesn't experience the strong emotions. Or in other words, I can say that the family here is not validating the daughter's feeling, and this is how the society in The Giver controlled feelings rather than understood this.
So yeah, they kind of like just shut it down the feelings, right?
Yes, right.
Yes, and because of this matter, families doesn't have a real emotional connection. Like even when humans ask his parents, do they love him? They don't understand the question. Like that show how empty family relationships are in this society.
Okay, so overall, we can see that family plays a huge role in shaping society, but in this society, it's like in a negative way. And instead of creating emotional bonds, it's mainly like used to control people. And then now let's move to the second things, the importance of sharing feelings and emotions. So what do you think about these things, Qiqi?
So as we know, in this community, emotions are suppressed. Like people take pills to stop feeling like love or desire, and also the strong emotions are avoided completely.
Yeah, at first I also think like maybe it could be like beneficial because if there's no pain, no emotions, and then no conflict, and everything feels peaceful, right? But when we look into the society again, like I don't know, it feels like their life were empty.
Exactly. And without emotions, people cannot truly experience happiness either. And this novel shows us how pleasure and pain are connected. When we have pain and then we will experience pleasure, or when we have the happiness and then we also experience the pain soon. And this is how universe work, and this is how life teach us about this important lesson. And so you cannot have one without the other.
Right.
Yes, and this also becomes clear when Jonas receives memory from the giver. He starts to feel real emotion like love, joy, and even the painful one. That's when he realizes his community is missing something important.
Exactly, and I think that's when everything started to change for him. Yeah, and also I remember this scene where Jonas didn't take his pill. Do you guys remember that scene,
Yes.
right? And he begins to understand about love, and also after he didn't take that pill, he had this dream about his friends, right, Fiona, and also he begins to understand these feelings about love, especially through his memories by the giver, and also his connections with Gabriel, the baby. Oh my god.
Yes, and that's when he sees the difference between real emotions and the shallow in his family and society.
Yeah, and it also shows that emotions are what make us human. Without them, people may feel safe, but they will lose meaning in their life.
Okay, so when we both look to the both things like family and emotions, they are actually deeply connected to how a society functions.
Yes, and when emotions is controlled and suppressed, the society may seem stable, but it becomes cold and inhuman, like what Qiqi have said before. And yeah, that's no meaning, in your life.
Yeah, and through generally we heard that emotion, even the painful ones, are necessary to experience true happiness and real human connection.
Exactly, and that's really the main takeaway from the story. And yeah, now we're already in the end of our discussions today. Thank you so much for Qiqi and Zain for joining today's discussions. And for all of you, thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.